What service do you seek? We will meet again, I think.
Dear Diary, wow, what an incredible end to an amazing adventure! I outwitted the evil pirate LeChuck, caused an avalanche, kinda, and lived to tell the tale. Even better, Elaine and I finally got married, and all of our friends were there too. I don't think we've ever been happier. Now all we have to do is set a course and begin our honeymoon, sailing on the Sea of Thieves. To get there, we have to pass through the Devil's Shroud. Elaine says it's no big deal so long as we follow the map, but I don't know. I miss seeing the stars. I had the nightmare again. I wake up in our cabin. Elaine is gone. And at the end of my bed, LeChuck is there, laughing at me. It's crazy, I know. I left him buried back on Monkey Island, but why does it feel so real? I can almost hear the laughter. But when I did get back to sleep, I had a very different dream. I was back where it all began, on my quest to become a legendary pirate. Back at the start of my very first adventure.
Aye? You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty? Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic, stunning high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score, and musical effects. Not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects, and magic spells. Beat the rush! Go out and buy Loom today! Sorry, but on some topics I just get carried away. Aye. Aye.
Leave me be! Try that again, and you'll be joining the devil for supper.
Come to share a table with me? How about sharing some grog, eh?
Ahoy there, stranger. New in town? That's the stupidest question I've ever heard. Why, this is the world-famous Melee Island, of course. Home to some of the filthiest rogues and rascals you'll ever cross paths with. Though if I were you, I'd not stray too far beyond the village. The weather's taken an awful turn tonight. A stranger could get lost in that pea soup. Oh, plenty of places to spend your pieces of 8. Though I'd wager most will be closed at this hour. Except maybe the general store. That old skinflint never sleeps. Then there's the old jail, the church. But if you ask me, there's nowhere better than this very pub. Why not sit for a spell and soak it all in? My name is Mancom Seepgood. The what of who? Never heard of it. And I've sailed as far as Dinky Island. But Melee Island is a place to be nowadays. Thanks to the governor. Now that you're here, you should relax and take a load off. Uh-oh. Looks like my grog is going flat, so you'll have to excuse me. Maybe not on this sea of thieves you're so proud of, but in these parts, we prefer a beverage with a little extra kick to it. Kerosene, red dye #2. If you're brave enough to try some for yourself, we usually sneak ours out of the big barrel in the kitchen. You can join us in a toast to the legend of Monkey Island.
Is that fresh meat I spy? Tremble, mortal, before the mighty skulls of scum.
It's been longer than a rat's tail since I last set me sockets on a would-be pirate, though I could swear we've crossed paths before. But never mind all that. You'll be here to undertake the 3 trials, I'll wager.
The 3 trials!
Aye, that takes me back. I want to be a mighty pirate. Where do I collect me hat?
Well, if you're here to prove your worth to us, too bad. We're no longer in charge around here.
Aye, and what would be the point? There's not a pirate wannabe alive who could hold a candle to the legend of Monkey Island.
No, please, not the speech again.
The mightiest pirate ever weigh anchor!
Scourge of the Caribbean, terror of the Tri-Island territories, master of 1,000 insults.
A man who could hold his breath for 60 minutes!
Governor
Guybrush
Threepwood! All that toasting of the governor's made me thirsty.
Time for some more grog. Grog, 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 grog.
What be ye wanting? I assume you mean pieces of 8? That's the currency we trade in here on Melee Island, not gold or other such nonsense. The cook could have been persuaded to take you on, but he's already hired himself a new assistant, so you're out of luck there. Well, I'm sure if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll spot a few stray pieces of 8 lying around that nobody'll miss. Of course, a real pirate would notice more nefarious opportunities to fill their pockets. What's the matter? You got seawater in your ears? Let me spell it out for you. Governor Threepwood is our legend of Monkey Island. He's been everywhere, seen it all, and stolen most of it. Adventures the rest of us can only dream of. The only way you'd be considered a true pirate is if the governor himself declared you to be worthy of following in his footsteps. Oh, you think so? You can't just stroll up to the governor's door and challenge him to a spitting contest, you know. But there is one way. A man in town can be your ticket to an audience with the governor, but his help surely won't come cheap. They say it lies east of here, but its exact location is a great mystery to all but the chosen few, including the governor and his wife, Elaine Marley. The whole of Monkey Island is surrounded by a strange mist that makes sailing there a treacherous prospect, unless you know exactly what you're doing. Oh, really? Well, most folks tended to avoid the place once the ghost pirate LeChuck began to use Monkey Island as his pirate lair. Only the governor was brave enough to bring together a crew and make it all the way to Monkey Island to rescue his beloved bride. It's just one more reason he's held in such high regard. But I don't suppose even he knows every secret the island has to offer.
Back again? You're persistent, I'll give you that. Pay him no heed or he'll talk your ear off all night. Claims to hail from somewhere called Sailor's Grave, wherever that may be. Only when he starts up with a shanty. I never heard such a tuneless, talentless assault against the performing arts. He claims it's the best he can do on account of lacking a full set of vocal cords. But if you ask me, he's just doing it for the attention. Each of us underwent the 3 trials way back when and became mighty pirates, when it was still possible for mere mortals to succeed. But since you ask, I'll let you in on a little secret. The trick of being in charge is to make yourself look important. That's why we took the best table in the house for ourselves and lined ourselves up here, all official-like. Well, there's no need to be like that about it. There's plenty of other pirates who wish they thought of it first. Decided to chance your luck with the governor's guards, eh? Well, you can't miss the place. Head up, through town, and through the archway below the clock tower to find a cliffside path that'll take you straight to the governor's doorstep. You might think so, but the fact of the matter is that the guards will turn you away unless you've got an official invitation. Now, I don't know where you'd go about acquiring such a thing, but there's one particular citizen whose specialty is finding what you need. You mean purveyors of tea, silks, that sort of thing? We don't allow them to operate here on Melee. The pirates gotta eat, though, so we do take in shipments of goods from other islands. One of them sank at the docks just the other day, in fact. Ha! What do I look like, a merchant? All I know is the governor keeps this place running just fine. We're never wanted for supplies. If you're peckish and low on funds, you could always find a fishing rod. See if you can't catch some supper that way.
Back so soon? You've plenty of questions, I'll be bound. Tests by which a pirate might prove themselves worthy of the title. There were 3 to be faced, spread across Melee Island. Trouble was, once word began to spread about the legend of Monkey Island and all that he'd accomplished, the trials looked pretty feeble by comparison. That we did, but no matter how dangerous, deceitful, and despicable the trials became, not one of them held a candle to the governor's heroic deeds. Eventually, nobody could manage to complete the trials, and the whole system was abandoned. Better to seek the governor's blessing. They say the name Scum comes from a language invented by one of the first and most influential pirates who dreamed of us all sharing a common speech. Some called him a genius, others a maniac. His knowledge and wisdom was passed down at a prestigious institute known as Scum University. Who can say, if it hadn't been for the drive and vision of those pirate pioneers, we might not be standing here today making such polite conversation. He may not look it, but Governor Threepwood has the strength and stamina of 10 men. He's the champion of both our caber tossing and spitting contest. And when it comes to his skill with a blade, his insults have flummoxed the sword master herself. Aye, that's a trick you'll get to learn if and when the governor judges you to be a worthy pirate. A devastating witticism delivered at just the right moment can throw your opponent off balance. We pirates have our pride to consider, after all. Elaine Marley was her name, back before she became Mrs. Elaine Marley Threepwood. Few could win her heart back then, though many pirates tried. She was a fine leader, and just as fine a match for the legend of Monkey Island. Though there's one pirate who thought otherwise, and LeChuck was his name. That's putting it mildly. When Elaine invited him for dinner, LeChuck was instantly smitten and vowed to do whatever it took to marry her. Needless to say, the legend of Monkey Island wasn't about to stand for that.
It ignited a bitter feud between the two of them. Ah, but that was a long time past now. Makes me all misty-eyed just to think about it.
Card. Probation.
Hey, you leave that skull alone. He's got a job to do.
What business do you have with us now? Speak up and be quick about it.
I am Murray, the demonic talking skull. All pirates hear my name and tremble.
Ha! Pay no attention to that blowhard. He left his marauding days behind, along with his body.
At least I can remember my own name, not like some other skulls I could mention. And one day I shall return to the waves to unleash a new reign of chaos.
Sure you will. But for now, we provide what you might call the in-house entertainment. Telling jokes, hurling vile insults at pirate wannabes, and enthralling folks with tales of skullduggery and misdeeds.
I'm just here for the insults. You stink, ugly.
We're still workshopping some of our material. Aye, that they be. They've got their own pirate lord nowadays. And his name is Governor Guybrush.
I told you not to use his name. It gives me a toothache.
You'll have to forgive Murray. He and the governor had a falling out a while back. Something to do with a missing arm.
Missing? It was an act of theft and wanton dismemberment, and one day I shall exact my demonic vengeance. Of course, these gullible fools may think of him as a legend, but I am not deceived. I have spent years plotting my retribution. However, the customers and I have formed an eternal bond. They will never let me leave, not unless someone can provide a replacement. I am no mere decoration. We are the esteemed Skulls of Scum, stars of the most disreputable tavern on Melee Island.
Aye, this be a place so foul. Even the roaches have to hold their breath. The floorboards are rotten. The tankards are rusty.
And half the customers will run you through just for the fun of it. What's not to enjoy?
In all my centuries, I've never found a better place to hang my head. Excuse me. I've got something in my eye hole.
Oh, don't you dare start blubbering. You can be so embarrassing sometimes.
Well, maybe that holds true somewhere like the Sea of Thieves. But pirates in these parts hold themselves to a different standard. Time was, you could earn the approval of the pirate leaders here by completing their 3 trials. But that was then, and this is now. The only way they'll respect you is if the governor himself declares you to be a worthy pirate.
Good luck with that. Threepwood's not set foot out of that mansion for almost a year. His guards keep things running smoothly.
Of course. What could happen to the legend of Monkey Island? If you ask me, he and his missus are off on some grand adventure.
And if you ask me, Threepwood's gotten himself locked in a closet somewhere. And good riddance.
Just ignore him. If anyone knows how to meet the governor, it'll be that set of salty sea dogs over yonder. If you've yet to do so, you should go and say hello.
Hey, you shouldn't be back here. Because it's the rules, that's why. Customers stay out front, where they can't mess everything up. Oh, right. Well, I guess you can look around. But don't touch anything. I'm trying to work on a signature dish. I want something fiery and hearty. Tough, yet tender. Just like the legend of Monkey Island himself. Too bad I'm still missing one of the ingredients. Meat stew. When I can find the time to spice the meat, chop the veg, and add this special ingredient like I was told. Sure enough, the lady from the Mojo shop stopped by before the governor's guards closed her down with a box of root beer sprinkles. She told me to add them to the grog and anything I cooked to provide us all protection against insidious supernatural threats or something. Don't know why, but I hate to see good grub go to waste, and they don't taste half bad, so into the cooking pot with them. Yeah, in the barrel. But don't think you can just go helping yourself. It's the expensive, extra-strong Governor's Special Reserve. I got a batch of it in stock in case the legend of Monkey Island ever stops by for a drink. Think of all the tourists he'd attract. But you need a strong stomach for the stuff, or you'll be out cold before long. Anyway, forget about all that. And don't touch anything. Can't help you there. I've just hired a new assistant, and they should be starting today. Assuming they show up for work. I don't know what the delay is all about, but I hope they remember to pick up their uniform from the general store. I've had it reserved all week. Of course it matters. Cooking's a messy business, and you need to look the part. I just hope they get here soon. I'm rushed off my feet as it is. Soon as they arrive, I'm going on my break.
That's a cute stuffed toy modeled after the three-headed monkey of Monkey Island. Very... Hey now, supplies of the Legend of Monkey Island figurine set are still limited. So there's a long waiting list, and your name is not even on it. That's Fresh Stock, a history book detailing the proud heritage of Melee Island and our beloved governor. Tells you everything you need to know. Sorry, but these items here, they're display models, not for sale. Hey, it's not my fault these Legend of Monkey Island action figures are hot property. My latest shipment got sunk down at the docks just as it arrived. Oh, then you need an exclusive Legend of Monkey Island meet and greet ticket, one of which I just so happen to have. Only one in existence. But I can tell just by looking at you that you can't afford such a sought-after item. Maybe we can work out some kind of deal. Tell you what, if you can bring me my missing cargo, I'll not only give you the ticket free of charge, I'll be able to sell you some other mementos. Deal? Deal. Now, get going.
Oh, those poor doggies. Well, it's very sad, actually. The governor's guard dogs get tormented by the guards, you see. They've lost all the fire in their little bellies. I bet if they scarfed down a hearty meal, they'd soon be back to their nasty old selves. Of course we do. My favorite is the old top-up trick. What you do, see, you wait for your shipmate to get distracted. Then you pour some grog from your tankard into theirs without them catching you. They'll be snoring before you know it. That's when you sneak away and leave them to foot the bill. I can't help it. There's just something about these guys that cracks me up. I can't help it. There's just something about these guys that cracks me up. The governor's guard dogs get tormented. I bet if they scarf down a hearty meal...
You lost? Well, then you come to the right pirates. We know pretty much everything that...
Let me guess. Another pirate want... Ah, night owl, eh? Well, the general store's a little ways down the high street, but the storekeeper charges a pretty penny for his wares. Well then, here's a little tip from me to you. Pirates can't help but squirrel away their spare change, It's sort of what you might call one of those compulsive reflexes. You should check all the crates and barrels you find. You never know when you'll stumble upon someone else's pieces of eight. I highly doubt it. Of course we are! Salty old pirates through and through. Now, the really rotten apples, they get taken to the town jail. That old place has seen better days, though. They say the governor hired someone to fix up the place. Last time I saw him, he was having an argument with the guards. Some kind of pay dispute. They didn't want to. Eventually, they dragged him away and there was a ruckus. Lots of screaming and falling and such like. The poor sap never even got to pack away his tools. I highly doubt it.
I don't think so, stranger. This ain't Wally's Duff Map shop no more, and that means it's off limits to the likes of you. Gubernatorial guards only. And since I don't see no uniform, and you also look like you're alive, I'm thinking that means you ain't exactly a guard.
Ahoy there, fancy pants. Keep your hands off the display cases. I just polished them. Oh, so you're the new cook for the Scum Bar. Nice job burning down that cargo ship. Well, the costume was never paid for, so if you still have a job to go to, you'll need to settle the bill. Now, you best hurry before somebody else makes me an offer. There's a chest over there you can use to change clothes, free of charge for paying customers. What? Turn my back so you can pocket whatever's in my safe? Whew, you must think I was born yesterday. That's a special order. Some kind of cook uniform for the Scum Bar. Probably just a big apron and a silly hat, I expect, but I want rid of it. Are you buying?